Imagine the dim flicker of oil lamps casting long shadows across a hidden chamber, the air thick with the scent of desert dust and myrrh. It's just after the resurrection, the world outside still reeling from the impossible. Jesus, the one they'd called Master, pulls aside only his innermost circle, Peter, John, Mary Magdalene, a handful of souls whose eyes burn with that unquenchable fire. No crowds, no fanfare, just the weight of eternity hanging in the silence. He leans in, his voice a low rumble that seems to vibrate right through your bones, and he says, "Listen closely. For what I share now has been guarded by the heavens and hunted by the powers of this age. Among you, the chosen, there are not one path, but 8 flames of the Spirit, each a unique echo of the divine, each designed to pierce the veil of illusion that binds the world." You've felt it, haven't you? That nagging pull deep in your chest, like a radio tuned to a station just out of reach. You're pushing 40, maybe 50, grinding through another day at the office or chasing kids to soccer practice, but something inside screams that this can't be it. The bills stack up, the news blares endless chaos, and everyone around you seems content scrolling through their feeds, buying the next gadget to fill the void. But not you. You lie awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, wondering why the American dream feels more like a trap. Why do you question the system when others just play along? Why does conformity chafe like a too tight collar, leaving you breathless and alone? It's not madness, it's a signal. Press your hand to your heart right now. Feel that subtle warmth. That's no coincidence. It's the ancient essence stirring, the same one that drew those first disciples into that secret room. For over 2,500 years, this teaching was buried, scorched by inquisitions, and hidden in forbidden scrolls because it threatened everything. The powers that be, the architects of what we call the control matrix, knew that if everyday folks like you discovered these 8 spirit types, their grip would shatter. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment. These aren't just personality quizzes or new age fluff. They're divine blueprints etched into your soul before you took your first breath in this life. Tonight, as the clock ticks past midnight, we're pulling back the curtain. You'll walk through each of the 8 archetypes Jesus unveiled, the ones that mark the chosen ones among us. You'll spot the signs in your own life, the frustrations, the dreams, the uncanny intuitions that set you apart. And by the end, you'll know if you're carrying the 8th flame, the one that doesn't just resist the matrix, but crushes it underfoot. If that resonates, drop a comment below. Which type do you think you are? Let's connect with fellow seekers right here under the digital stars. Picture yourself back in that chamber. The master gestures with scarred hands, his eyes locking onto each disciple, as if seeing straight into their essence. The spirit moves not in uniformity, he explains, but in diversity of light. There are 8 vessels, 8 rhythms of awakening, each born to disrupt the shadows that enslave humanity. The first he describes is the seer, the one with eyes that pierce beyond the surface. You've probably crossed paths with this type, or maybe you are one. It's the person at the family barbecue who zones out, staring into the middle distance while everyone chats about stocks and sports. Suddenly they blurt something profound. You know, this whole rat race feels off, like we're all puppets. And you nod, because deep down, you felt it too. For Americans over 35, this shows up in the quiet rebellion against the daily grind. You're commuting in rush hour traffic on I-95, horns blaring, exhaust fumes stinging your nose, and out of nowhere, a wave of clarity hits. This isn't living, it's surviving. The seer's symptom is that persistent unease, a spiritual static that makes Netflix binges feel hollow and Sunday sermons too pat. Science backs this. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that midlife adults report higher rates of existential anxiety, with 40% feeling a sense of purposelessness tied to unfulfilled intuition. But the cause? It's deeper. Jesus revealed it as the divine lens, implanted to spot the illusions of the matrix, the debt cycles, the media manipulations, the cultural scripts that keep us compliant. What few know is that this seeing isn't random. It's a celestial inheritance, echoing the prophets of old who gazed into the unseen. In that hidden room, he told John, the visionary, "Your eyes were forged in the fires of creation to unveil what the world conceals." If you're a seer, ignoring this gift leads to burnout, that soul-crushing fatigue where even coffee can't touch the fog. But embracing it, that's where transformation begins. Start small. Set aside 10 minutes each morning, eyes closed, asking, what truth am I meant to see today? Journal the flashes, the gut feelings about a toxic job or a friendship that's more drain than uplift. One woman I know, Sarah from Ohio, mid-40s, single mom juggling 2 jobs, started this practice. At first, it was just hunches. Quit that side gig, it's poisoning you. Months later, she walked away from a decade of corporate drudgery, launched a small counseling practice, and now helps others see their own paths. Her life? No longer a blur, but a canvas of clarity. But hold on, what if your spirit hums a different note? The second archetype, the healer, emerges not in visions, but in an irresistible pull to mend what's broken. Think of the neighbor down the street, the one who always shows up with chicken soup when you're down, or listens without judgment as you vent about your crumbling marriage. For folks in their late 30s and beyond, this manifests in the exhaustion of always being the emotional rock. The friend who absorbs everyone's pain at holiday gatherings, the parent who forgives one too many times only to collapse alone in the bathroom, tears mixing with the faucet's drip. You've noticed it, right? That empathy overload, where the world's hurts seep into your bones like damp from a leaky roof. Data from the National Institutes of Health points to compassion fatigue, affecting 60% of caregivers over 35, leading to depression and isolation. The revelation Jesus shared. This isn't a curse, it's a sacred conduit, designed to counter the Matrix's division. In the Matrix, the web of fear, scarcity, and disconnection peddled by ads and algorithms, healer's energy binds souls back together. He whispered to Mary, "Your touch carries the balm of forgiveness, unraveling the wounds the rulers inflict to keep us apart." The why runs spiritual and scientific. Quantum entanglement theories suggest our energies link in ways ancient texts described as soul-weaving. Ignore it and you become the martyr, resenting the very people you serve. The path forward. Boundaries with heart. Learn to heal yourself first through breathwork or forest walks, feeling the earth's pulse under your feet. Then extend it outward in measured doses. Take Mark, a 52-year-old veteran from Texas, haunted by PTSD and family rifts. He discovered his healer type during a late-night Bible study, realizing his quiet support for buddies in the service was his gift. He started a men's group, sharing stories around campfires, and watched fractures mend. Today, his home echoes with laughter again, not silence. As we delve deeper, imagine the shift when you recognize these patterns. aren't accidents. But before I unfold the third flame, consider this. How many times have you pushed through pain, thinking it's just life, when it might be your spirit crying out for alignment? The third type, the warrior, doesn't soothe, it charges. This is the archetype that feels like a storm bottled inside. The one who stands up at the PTA meeting, voice steady, calling out the unfair budget cuts, or quits the dead-end job with a fire that scares even them. In the American hustle, over 35, it hits as that simmering frustration with injustice. You're at the grocery store, prices skyrocketing, watching families choose between milk and meds, and your fists clench. Or scrolling social media, seeing lies spread unchecked, and you type that fiery comment before thinking twice. The CDC reports rising anger issues in midlife, linked to systemic stresses like economic inequality, affecting 70% of adults in that bracket. Jesus unveiled the cause as righteous fury, a divine sword against the Matrix's tyrants. To Peter, the rock, he said, "Your strength is the hammer that shatters chains, for the world bows only to unyielding truth." Spiritually, it's the warrior angel's echo. Scientifically, adrenaline responses wired for protection, hijacked by modern fears. Neglect it, and it turns inward. Road rage, bottled outbursts, health crashes from stress. The solution lies in channeled action. Daily affirmations of purpose like, "I fight for light, not shadow," followed by one bold step, volunteering, speaking out, or even starting that advocacy blog. Lisa, 47, from California, embodied this after years of silent suffering in a controlling marriage. Recognizing her warrior spirit, she filed for divorce, rallied a support network, and now leads workshops on empowerment. Her battles, they forged her freedom. And yet not all spirits clash with swords. The fourth, the sage, whispers wisdom in the chaos. This type is the quiet advisor at the dinner table, dropping insights that make everyone pause. Have you considered it's not about winning, but growing? For those of us past 35, symptoms creep in as a love for books over parties, late nights pondering life's big questions while the house sleeps, or mentoring a younger co-worker without seeking credit. It's that intellectual hunger that leaves you alienated. The world races on superficiality, but you crave depth. Harvard's Grant study, tracking lives over 80 years, finds wisdom seekers report higher fulfillment but initial isolation. The hidden cause? Jesus called it the well of inner knowing, a matrix antidote to shallow distractions. To the scholarly ones among his circle, he revealed, "Your mind is the archive of eternity, decoding the illusions that blind the masses." Rooted in neural plasticity, brains rewiring for insight, and ancient gnosis, ignoring it breeds frustration, like a library book gathering dust. Transformation? Cultivate it through study and sharing. Read spiritual texts. Discuss with a trusted circle. Apply one lesson weekly. Robert, 61, from New York, retired teacher, felt lost post-career. Embracing his sage, he started a podcast on biblical wisdom, connecting with thousands. His days now brim with purpose, not regret. What comes next could shift how you see your struggles. The fifth archetype, the mystic, dances on the edge of the unseen. This spirit feels the divine in a sunset's glow or a stranger's chance words, sensing energies others dismiss as coincidence. In midlife America, it appears as vivid dreams that linger, an aversion to crowded malls where vibes clash like static, or sudden chills during prayer that no AC explains. You've probably dismissed it as overthinking, but it's pulling you towards something vast. Research from the Pew Forum shows 40% of adults over 35 report spiritual experiences, correlating with lower anxiety when embraced. Jesus described it to the contemplative souls as the bridge to the infinite, shattering the matrix's material veil. Feel the currents, he urged, for they carry the song of creation, drowning out the noise of control. Causes blend mysticism with biofield science, subtle energies influencing health. Suppress it, and disconnection festers into despair. The path: daily immersion, meditation by a window, tracking synchronicities in a journal. Elena, 39 from Florida, artist and mom, ignored her mystic pulls amid PTA chaos. After a breakdown, she tuned in. Dreams guided her to paint intuitive works, now exhibited, healing her family too. But pause here. If your soul yearns for prophecy over poetry, the sixth type awaits. The prophet speaks futures unspoken, the one who warns of storms before clouds gather. Symptoms for 35 plus? Foreboding hunches about market crashes or family feuds, sharing visions that unsettle friends, or a compulsion to journal warnings that later prove true. It's isolating. The office party laughs off your doom and gloom, leaving you the outsider. Gallup polls indicate prophetic intuition rises with age, aiding decision-making but sparking doubt. The revelation: Jesus to the forward seers. Your voice heralds the dawn, exposing the matrix's fragile facades before they crumble. Spiritually prophetic, scientifically precognitive patterns in EEG studies. Deny it and anxiety mounts. Solution: validate through community, share selectively, act on insights. David, 55 from Illinois, farmer, foresaw his community's economic hit. Embracing it, he organized aid networks, saving farms and forging bonds. Now the seventh, the guardian, steadfast protector of the sacred. This archetype stands sentinel, fiercely loyal, sensing threats to loved ones or truths. In daily life, it's the parent who vets every influence, the friend who calls out betrayal, or the whistleblower enduring backlash for integrity. Over 35, it manifests as hypervigilance, scanning news for dangers, sacrificing sleep for safety nets, feeling the weight of unspoken oaths. APA data links this to higher resilience but burnout risk. Jesus affirmed to the watchful, "You are the walls of the temple, holding back the floods of deception that the rulers unleash." Causes: guardian instincts from evolutionary psychology, amplified by spiritual armor. Neglect breeds resentment, embrace through ritual protection. Prayers, boundaries. Thomas, 48 from Georgia, security guard, guarded his faith amid doubt. Channeling it, he built a community watch, turning vigilance to village strength. And finally, the eighth, the disruptor, the crusher of matrices. This flame burns hottest, designed not to fit, but to shatter. If you're this one, your life has been a battlefield, constant clashes with authority, ideas that upend norms, a restlessness that topples comfort zones. You've quit jobs on principle, challenged family traditions, felt like an alien in your own country. Symptoms scream: insomnia from revolutionary thoughts, attracting chaos yet thriving in it, an inner roar against systemic lies. NIH studies on disruptors show higher innovation, but conflict rates. Jesus reserved this for the boldest. You are the earthquake, the one who topples thrones, for the matrix fears your unbridled truth above all. The why? A divine wildcard, quantum chaos theory meets apocalyptic prophecy. Suppress and self-destruction looms, unleash and worlds change. Steps: identify triggers, build alliances, act decisively. Like Anna, 42 from Colorado, who disrupted her industry's corruption, sparking reforms. If this stirs you, like and subscribe. Let's amplify these truths. The ebook, Call of the Chosen, The 30-Day Journey, dives deeper with daily activations for your type. We've journeyed from that ancient chamber to your screen, unveiling flames that light the way. You're not lost, you're chosen. Grab the ebook now. Your disruption starts today. Remember, the matrix crumbles when one awakens. Wait, that's just the spark. Let's expand this revelation, because these archetypes aren't abstract. They weave into the fabric of your everyday, demanding we explore how they interplay with the control matrix that's gripped America for generations. Think about it. From the founding fathers' revolutionary zeal to today's quiet desperations, the same forces at work. The Matrix isn't some sci-fi hologram. It's the subtle programming, endless consumerism, fear-based news cycles, social divisions engineered to keep us small. Jesus knew this. In that secluded spot, with the scent of olive wood lingering, he painted each type as a counterforce, a spiritual insurgency against empire's shadow, whether Roman or modern corporate. Take the seer again, because their gift isn't passive. In your 40s, juggling mortgages and aging parents, you start noticing patterns others miss. How the pharma ads push pills over peace, or how work emails manipulate with urgency. That aha moment in traffic? It's the seer activating, urging you to question the script. But here's the revelation few grasp. This sight stems from a pre-birth covenant, what quantum physicists like David Bohm called the implicate order, a hidden wholeness the matrix fragments to control us. Studies from the Institute of Noetic Sciences show intuitive hits correlate with brainwaves that bypass logical filters, explaining why seers often feel crazy until validated. Zara's story deepens here. After her journaling breakthrough, she saw the matrix in her own life, debt from student loans, a cycle her parents endured too. Embracing her type, she audited her finances spiritually, meditating on abundance verses, and negotiated relief, freeing thousands in her community through a non-profit. Imagine that for you. No more blind compliance, but empowered vision. Shifting to the healer, consider how this type counters the Matrix's isolation tactics. In a nation where loneliness epidemics hit 50% of adults over 45 per AARP reports, the healer's pull is a lifeline. You felt it at Thanksgiving, absorbing Uncle Joe's rants, your heart aching to bridge the gap. The cause? Jesus linked it to the Holy Spirit's comforter role, scientifically mirrored in mirror neuron research. Our brains wired to feel others' pain, fostering empathy the system exploits for division. Mark's transformation extended. His men's group evolved into healing circles, tackling matrix-induced traumas like job loss, shame. He incorporated simple rituals, shared breaths, forgiveness prayers, and watched addictions break, families reunite. For you, start tonight. Reach out to one strained connection. Listen without fixing. Feel the energy flow. That's matrix walls cracking. The warrior's charge builds on this. Peter, ever impulsive, embodied it, but Jesus refined it as strategic, not reckless. In midlife, your battles might be internal, fighting health declines or ethical lapses at work. That clench in the store? It's the warrior sensing scarcity myths designed to hoard resources. FBI behavioral data shows protectors like this drive social change, but unchecked, they burn out. Lisa's divorce was just the start. She trained in non-violent advocacy, confronting boardrooms on inequality. Her steps: visualize battles won, act with allies. You can too. Pick one injustice, rally a friend, step forward. The rush? Divine fuel. For the sage, wisdom isn't hoarded. It's the Matrix's kryptonite, exposing lies with logic and law. Robert's podcast? It grew to debate current events through biblical lenses, debunking fear porn. Causes tied to lifelong learning circuits, per neuroplasticity studies infused with Proverbs counsel. Elena's mystic art, it synced with prophets, her dreams foretelling personal upheavals like job shifts. She mapped them, turning intuition to guidance, her family now attuned. David's farm warnings expanded to climate advocacy, his insights saving crops via community co-ops. Thomas guarded not just physically, but spiritually, teaching discernment classes against misinformation. And the disruptor, oh, this one's the hammer. Anna's reforms rippled nationally, her book on systemic change born from late-night revelations. If you're this, your life's failures were setups for impact. These types interconnect. A seer might heal through vision, a warrior guard with wisdom. The ebook maps this, 30 days to integrate. As stars fade, claim your flame. The chosen rise, will you? To truly grasp this, let's revisit the opening scene with fresh eyes, because that chamber wasn't just history, it's a mirror to your soul's quiet rebellion. The lamps glow, the disciples' rapt faces. Replace them with your living room, phone in hand, heart pounding as these words sink in. Jesus didn't share this lightly, he knew the cost. For 1,500 years, from Nag Hammadi scrolls to suppressed gospels, this knowledge was fire to the Inquisitor's wood, because empowered souls threaten empires. Your disconnect? It's the Matrix's design, a system born in ancient Babylon, refined in boardrooms, selling freedom while chaining spirits. But these 8 types, they're the code to break free. Let's linger on the seer, because identification starts with recognition. That moment in the doctor's office, hearing it's just stress, but knowing it's deeper. A spiritual misalignment the pills can't touch. Sensory cues. The metallic tang of anxiety in your mouth. The hum of fluorescent lights amplifying inner noise. Americans 35 plus face this in waves. Gallup's well-being index shows purpose dips midlife, spiking depression 30%. The cause unfolds gradually. Not random evolution, but intentional design. Jesus said the seer sees through the glass darkly, piercing veils what mystics call Maya, scientists term cognitive dissonance. A study in Consciousness and Cognition journal found intuitive individuals process information holistically, spotting patterns in chaos. The Matrix's stock in trade. Sarah dove deeper. Her practice revealed generational curses, matrix echoes in family poverty. She broke it with guided visualizations, now thriving, her kids learning to see too. Your solution, nightly reviews. What did I glimpse today? Act on one insight weekly. Tension builds. What if ignoring it costs your legacy? The healer's empathy, meanwhile, feels like carrying the world's weight on your shoulders. The ache in your chest during news of shootings or evictions. Textures, the soft give of a hugged friend's back, the salt of shared tears. NIH empathy research shows it buffers stress when channeled, but overwhelms otherwise. Jesus' revelation. Healers mend the rips in the collective soul, countering division algorithms on social media. Mark's circles incorporated science. Oxytocin boosts from touch, blending faith and fact, healing vets' matrix scars from war profiteering. Lisa the warrior. Her PTA stand evolved to city council runs, fists unclenching into open hands of justice. Causes, testosterone-fueled drive, spiritually the zeal of Elijah. Steps, train endurance, spiritual and physical, yoga with prayers. Sage Robert debated AI's soul implications, his mind a fortress. Elena's dreams wove prophecies into art therapy sessions. David's warnings became apps for farmers. Thomas's guardianship included cyber-spiritual shields against digital demons. Disruptor Anna, her crazy ideas birthed movements crushing corporate veils. Share below, what's your type's biggest battle? The ebook awaits, your 30-day key. This unveiling demands we explore intersections, because no type stands alone. They're a symphony against silence. Imagine a seer healing through visionary therapy, or a prophet guarding futures. In America, where 60 million seek spiritual growth per Barna group, these are your tools. Delve into the seer's daily dance. Mornings, coffee steaming, you sense a colleague's hidden struggle, offer a word that shifts their day. But the Matrix fights back. Doubts whisper, mind your business. Revelation, it's the third eye chakra, per ancient texts, activated by pineal gland decalcification, backed by radiology studies on meditation's effects. Sarah's non-profit now trains seers, turning personal sight to communal light. Feel the pull, that's your cue. Healers, your touch in a world of virtual likes, real hugs amid Zoom fatigue. Mark's group expanded online, blending virtual empathy with in-person bonds. Science showing hybrid models reduce isolation 40%. Warriors, channel that fire. Lisa's workshops teach de-escalation, turning rage to reform. Her cortisol levels normalized per self-tests. Sages ponder. Robert's episodes on quantum faith draw scientists, bridging gaps. Mystics like Elena sync with nature's rhythms. Her family hikes now ritual. Prophets David forecast via data faith hybrids. Guardians Thomas build resilient communities. Disruptors Anna network types into coalitions. The e-book orchestrates this day by day. As dawn breaks, your choice, slumber or stir. The chosen awaken, join them. To hit the depth this deserves, let's paint fuller pictures of each. Because transformation isn't overnight, it's layered, like onions peeled in tearful revelation. Start with the seer in suburbia. You're mowing the lawn, grass clippings sticking to sweat-damp skin when a neighbor's forced smile hits you, debt's grip unspoken. You offer coffee, listen, and suddenly bonds form against the isolation machine. Causes deepen. Jesus tied it to Eden's lost sight, restored in Christ, scientifically enhanced alpha waves in meditators, per EEGs, allowing holistic views the matrix's beta busyness blocks. Sarah's journey, from fog to focus, she now sees global patterns, advocating policy changes. Your steps, visualize clarity, journal, share anonymously online. But what if your sight reveals a personal matrix, addictions or lies? Face it, freedom follows. Healers in the heartland, at church potlucks, potato salad warm on plates, you absorb griefs, your own heart heavy. Revelation, the Samaritan's oil, biologically endorphin cascades from giving. Mark healed his PTSD, then others, his group a matrix-free zone of trust. Warriors at work, board meetings, stale coffee, you challenge unethical deals, pulse racing. Causes, David's courage, adrenaline's fight response, evolved for justice. Lisa's counsel win reformed schools, her energy sustained by communal support. Sages in libraries, book pages crisp under fingers, insights flowing. Robert's debates foster thinkers, mystics at dawn, dew-kissed grass, visions unfolding. Elena's art heals viewers, prophets in fields, wind-whipped futures clear. David's co-op thrives, guardians at home, locks clicked, prayers said. Thomas's classes empower, disruptors everywhere. Anna's coalitions topple giants. Comment your synergies, subscribe for more. The ebook's 30 days build this harmony. We've barely scratched the surface, so let's immerse in stories that mirror yours, because these types live in real American lives, battling real matrices. Consider the seer named Jordan, 38, IT guy in Seattle. Rain patters on windows as he codes, but visions interrupt. Companies data mining souls, not serving. He leaks ethically, sparks reform, but first, doubt nearly breaks him. Revelation. The Watchman's Call, neurologically hyper-connected empathy networks. Jordan's solution, therapy fused with prayer, now consults on ethical tech. Healer Carla, 45, nurse in Chicago. Hospital beeps, antiseptic sting. She comforts dying patients, absorbing their pain till she cracks. Jesus' words, bear one another's burdens. She starts self-care retreats, blending Reiki and scripture, reviving her ward. Warrior Jamal, 50, teacher in Atlanta. Classroom chalk dust, he fights curriculum biases, suspensions looming. Causes, Moses' staff, serotonin boosts from purpose. His union role changes districts. Sage Patricia, 62, librarian in Boston. Dusty shelves, she advises lost souls. Her blog on spiritual logic goes viral. Mystic Theo, 41, engineer in Denver. Blueprints blur with auras. He redesigns sustainable, guided by dreams. Prophet Sophia, 55, journalist in Miami. Byline deadlines, she predicts scandals vindicated. Guardian Miguel, 48, cop in Phoenix. Badge heavy, he protects the vulnerable from systemic abuse. Disruptor Riley, 39, activist in Portland. Protests tear gas, ideas ignite change. These tales echo yours. The ebook personalizes 30 days to your story. As we weave tighter, notice how symptoms overlap. A healer's empathy aiding a seer's sight. In the Matrix's web, this synergy is power. Data from spiritual wellness apps shows integrated practices boost happiness 50%. Jesus in that room foresaw this unity. His 8 flames, a single fire. For you, start blending If Seer, Heal What You See. Steps in the ebook guide. Urgency, the veil thins. Claim now. This revelation pulses with life, so let's expand the causes, blending faith and fact for the logical seeker in you. The Matrix? It's Babel's tower rebuilt, division by design, but each type counters specifically. Seer's cause, divine optics like Hubble's eye on cosmos, brain's default mode network revealing truths. Healers, Christic compassion, oxytocin as Holy Spirit in veins. Warriors, archangelic might. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you. And strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuzazara readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.